Here this guy goes again with this crazy Bitcoin talk. So listen, I got another Bitcoin video. So if you don't want to hear about Bitcoin, go ahead and click off. You've probably seen the title. So if you're here, you know this is about Bitcoin. I'm going to break down a video from Swan Bitcoin. They did an excellent video the other day, and they talked about some good stuff in here. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to pass on the information, and I'll give you my thoughts throughout it. So let's take a look.
You'll always have a world of promises, and then you'll always have these scarce assets that people use as store of value across generations. And Bitcoin has entered that realm of a good store of value across generations, even with only 14 years of history.
The ping you hear is the distinct sound of a real gold coin. It's just one of the ways to verify the authenticity of the metal contained within. This gold-plated tungsten counterfeit coin, not so much. This one doesn't ring true. This is where the term sound money comes from, and the recognizability or verifiability of gold is one of the key attributes of what makes for good money.
For those of you that are new to my channel, you see this silver here. I'm a precious metal stacker, but I don't have any gold. I made a video about that. Here's the video right here. Check that out, and I'll explain to you why, but I'll give you a hint. It's about the subject we're talking about in this video.
Money is an asset that best satisfies 5 critical properties: divisibility, durability, recognizability, portability, and scarcity.
A ubiquitous part of our daily lives, money has a rich and intriguing history that stretches back thousands of years. From the earliest forms of trade to the modern digital era, the evolution of money is a fascinating tale of human ingenuity and societal progress.
It allows us to trade. It allows us to develop the division of labor, which would not be possible at any kind of sophisticated level without money.
That guy right there, he's the author of the Bitcoin Standard, and he's also author of some pretty good books about Bitcoin and the economy. He's a he's a very smart man. I suggest you take a look at his books and stuff. He just got a job with Bukele in El Salvador as one of the as a financial advisor or something like that. Bitcoin's its own economy, man, and this guy's going to be an economist for a whole country based on his book and his philosophies and stuff. It's crazy.
To overcome the limitations of barter, societies gradually adopted commodity money, comprised of valuable items such as seashells, beads, salt, tobacco, or anything that was universally recognized and accepted as a medium of exchange.
And it can be anything. It can be a banana, it can be food, it can be any kind of good. As long as I acquire the good with the purpose of it passing it on to you, not with the purpose of me consuming it.
And so you see in the history around the world, and you go to places. I was in an island in the Pacific in which they had as money these big stones. And literally, they were taking a boat, this big carved stone, and they were taking it from one of the islands to the other, and it sank, and it went to the bottom, and they still perceived it as having value.
Gold and silver emerged as the preferred commodities because of their durability and scarcity. But with the expansion of trade and commerce, carrying large quantities of precious metals became cumbersome and fraught with risk. In response, societies began using paper money, which represented a claim on a specific amount of gold or silver stored in banks. This transition brought forth the rise of banking institutions, where individuals could deposit their precious metals and receive paper notes as a more convenient form of currency.
Yeah, as a silver stacker, and a former gold stacker, we know all about that. 1971, they took us off the gold standard and everything, and we know that precious metals are heavy. And what the tumultuous times going on right now, if you need to leave the country, it is going to be, and this is me, I'm talking to myself here, it's going to be very difficult for me to leave with this silver. You know what I mean? If I didn't have Bitcoin, what I'd have to do is I'd have to cash it in and then put the cash in my bank, and hopefully it don't freeze my account. But with Bitcoin, I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, silver and gold can be pretty heavy. And if you do put it into gold, you got 200,000 in gold and you got, 100 coins or whatever, they still can confiscate it.
It was a sound system in theory, but it broke. That's why that situation ended in 1971.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
When the U.S. went off the gold standard, it marked the end of sound money. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency since the Bretton Woods Agreement after World War II. But for the last 50 years, there is nothing backing the dollar except government fiat. In other words, the dollar has value simply because the government declared it to be so. And it's all enabled by the central bank.
Yeah, the dollar's also backed by war, by the threat of war. We've gone to war to keep our status as the world reserve currency, and we're losing our status when it comes to the petrodollar, if we haven't lost it already. But this guy getting ready to talk now, Lawrence Leopard, He's a big gold bug. I believe he has a gold investment fund. I believe he's been stacking gold for a long time, and he's a big Bitcoiner. Look him up after this video when you get a chance. Lawrence Leopard. He's big into gold for a long time, and then he came across Bitcoin.
It's a country's authority which controls their monetary system. And the U.S. Federal Reserve was established in 1913, and they snuck it through around Christmas time when nobody was there to vote on it. It's really a money trust. And what it allows is for quintillionaires to take advantage of everybody else by printing the money to bail themselves out. And they basically control when the money is issued and at what price.
This idea of sound money is an old concept that people are grasping onto today because they realize that this layered money system has nothing at the top that is physical.
Yeah, us as precious metal stackers, we know what sound money is. You know what I mean? We know that term, the sound, when you make the sound of silver and stuff like that, we know what that meant. I always heard about it. I didn't start stacking until the middle of 2020. I heard of sound money. I just didn't know about it. So it's our job to make sure people know what sound money is, and we have to wake these people up to it.
With nothing sound backing the dollar, the money supply is untethered from economic reality. More and more money is printed in the form of debt, and the consequences are kicked down the road. Unelected central bankers with all too human flaws are in charge of the cost of borrowing and the number of dollars flowing through the system, and that number continues to go up.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money?
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money.
I mean, if that doesn't scare you, everyone in America and on the planet, especially here in America, should hear that. Share this video, please. Let people know what's going on out here. Everyone, because that was on 60 Minutes, and I guarantee you, some people might have saw it or glanced at it or something like that, but they haven't watched it in a condensed form like this, and they don't understand what real inflation is. They don't understand, and it's up to us guys, us silver stackers, our silver ambassadors, our Bitcoin evangelists, hard money people that know what's going on, to wake these people up, guys. I can't say that enough.
In the fiat system, the way that you mine a new currency into existence is through lending. When your bank makes a new loan, they don't take somebody else's money and give it to you. They make new money, essentially, out of thin air, and they hand it to you. They put it in your bank account.
They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
You know, in our worlds, and I'm trying to put these worlds together, the Bitcoin world and the precious metal world, we know what Mr. Sherman said. You know what I mean? That was a big deal in our world. Now the normies and the everyday civilians don't know anything about that, but that was a very big indication. And he was talking about the crypto bros or something like that. I'll play the clip here.
Crypto bros make money literally by making money, and they've made over $1 trillion out of thin air. They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
And yeah, that's what he was talking about. Now, the silver stackers know about it. I saw it on Wall Street Silver Reddit. The Bitcoiners, we're all on the same team. We just do different things. You know what I mean? And we got to tell these people about this stuff, man. He basically said, if the crypto bros are printing shit coins or whatever, and if you go out there and make fake dollars, you're going to go to prison. You're going to go to jail for that. But we're the U.S. government. We can do that. That's insane.
Anyone who cares to take a look at the inflation of the money supply, which leads to significant asset inflation, can see the problem here. The more money printed into existence dilutes everyone's purchasing power, leading to wealth inequality and worse.
The problem with our money is that there's no objective source of truth. It's always allowed to be manipulated. The line of what is true and what isn't changes depending upon how much power you have, how much positional authority you have, or what geographical jurisdiction you have in the world.
Gold and gold-backed paper currency, while not perfect, worked okay for the last few thousand years of human history. But what if there was something better?
It did work well. You know, gold is real money. Silver is real money. It's God's money. It did work well until human beings came in and started printing up these notes that were supposedly backed by these commodities. We cannot trust these people, ladies and gentlemen, because what are they going to do? They're going to make more paper and make more notes than there are the physical silver. Not only are they doing it with the U.S. dollars, but they're doing it in the paper market, in the stocks and stuff. I know people that own silver and gold in the paper market. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. It is crazy what people don't know. But there is a better way.
What I liked about Bitcoin was it was a digital gold or a digital property that you couldn't inflate. So call it digital gold without all the imperfections of gold.
What's actually happening is you have a bearer instrument inside a network with unlimited velocity.
Bitcoin is an open, programmable source of exchanging value across time and space that we can all access.
The reason it's so genius, and the reason Satoshi's an artist, and the reason Bitcoin has effectively affected money is because Satoshi took away all of the indivisibility, all of the decomposability, all of the unrecognizability, all of the immovability, and all of the unpredictability from money. He maximally removed all of these negative aspects of money to deliver us the quasi-perfection that is Bitcoin.
All of those guys you just seen in that video were former gold stackers, except maybe Michael Saylor wasn't. I don't know if he was or not. But everything they said was true. It's Bitcoin is a perfect ledger and a perfect money, and it can't be stopped by human beings. It's a system. It's a network. It's protocol. I love silver and gold. The problem is it's controlled by human beings. Even when we have it in our possession, guess what? The paper market, the paper that's printed out saying there's this many silver and this, that, and the third, that's manipulated too. Bitcoin is a ledger. It's not manipulated. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. And you saw the little capsule they had. It's 100 million Satoshis in each Bitcoin. Get off zero, ladies and gentlemen. Get you some Bitcoin.
If the story of human progress is marked by innovation and the technology of money is the language of value, we may have finally invented an incorruptible way to communicate with each other, globally, instantaneously, and most of all, truthfully.
You'll always have a world of promises, and then you'll always have these scarce assets that people use as store of value across generations. And Bitcoin has entered that realm of a good store of value across generations. Even with only 14 years of history, it's already proving that it's on that track. I think that's one of the most bullish things about Bitcoin is its properties are known, they're well known. The speculation of what it can do in the future is up for debate. But what it is today, I think it's really being cemented.
Absolutely. Many of us precious metal stackers, and I've talked to many of you guys, a lot of you are not going to sell your silver or gold. You're going to pass it down to your children. And that's a commendable thing to do. You know what I mean? But some of us are going to spend a little bit of it, maybe 5 or 10 or 20% of it, and take it and use it, take it in for cash or whatever you're going to do for a store of value and stuff like that as a hedge on inflation. Bitcoin is much different, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is a new paradigm shift. It will be the standard. Okay. It's just math. It has to be. When you're going against the reason why silver and gold was a great situation when it comes to us as stackers is because compared to fiat currency, this is very finite, silver and gold. It is very finite, but it's not 100% finite. We can find it if we need it. We can find more gold and silver. We have no idea how much gold and silver are in the vaults. We have no idea what the real paper market is in comparison to the real physical silver or gold. We don't know how much silver or gold is in the ground or mines or places we haven't been to in the sea, out in the asteroid belt, maybe on another planet in the next 20 to 25 years, 30 years or whatever. We don't know. But with Bitcoin, we do know. It's only 21 million. It will never be more or never be less. That's the number.
There are two things I can guarantee you in my life. One, that I'll die, and the other, that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And those are what's the two things that I can only value as my life and my Bitcoin. So it is the only fixed supply asset, Kelly. It's not that complicated. It's going to go up because everything else can be issued more. Bitcoin is the only monetary instrument in the history of our species that is fixed. It does not matter how much more demand comes into the asset class, Kelly. No one will ever be able to make more of it.
We have no idea what's going on with gold and silver, and we're moving into a technological age that we're going to be transacting digitally. I don't plan on spending a lot of my Bitcoin, to be quite honest with you. I think, and I've watched videos on this, that the CBDCs are going to be very difficult to come to America. I don't know about that, but I refuse to participate. And the only thing that's going to stop them is Bitcoin. I want you guys to think about this. If the CBDCs do come, let's just say they do come and they come in 10 years, because it's a very difficult situation to build the CBDCs. But let's just say they do come in 10 years. What are your precious metals are going to do in 10 years, in the year 2033? Are you going to trade them in for more CBDCs? Are you going to trade them in the black market for cash? Because cash will be, on its way out. Or are you going to barter with them? Or are you just going to hold them and pass them on to your children? I don't know. But one thing I do know is you're not going to every single day use gold and silver to transact. It's just not happening anymore. It doesn't even happen now in our lifetime. Yes, it happens a little bit here and there in little pockets of the country or the world, but that's not the way. The way is Bitcoin, digitally. You have to transact digitally. You can use your credit card, you can use your debit card, you can use your CBDC, your Apple Pay, your Venmo, your Cashapp, whatever. But all that stuff is connected or will be connected to the CBDCs if they come. And again, I refuse to participate. Again, it may come later than I thought it was going to be because I think it's going to be difficult, but I don't know. It may be coming behind the scenes. Bitcoin was created for this moment right here. In 2008, when the great financial crisis came, Satoshi Nakamoto made Bitcoin because of this, right? Now, it's a baby. Bitcoin's only 14 and a half years old, something like that. And in the next 10 years, I'd give it 10 to 20 years. It's really going to become a lot bigger than it is now. I think it'll be the standard in maybe 25 or 30 years. I'm not sure. I don't have a crystal ball. But one thing I do know that math always wins. Thermodynamics and physics always win. And when you're dealing with a closed system in Bitcoin that you can't make any more of it, I highly suggest that you get some Bitcoin now because they're giving it away, ladies and gentlemen. What I suggest is use it as insurance, right? But I think, my life is finite. I'm going to die one day. And I think the government, because of the cabal and their ability to print the money, they don't want Bitcoin to be here because then they can't have all the power and the spending and just being next to the money printer and just printing out money that they want. They're going to do everything they can to push back Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin can be 100% stopped, but I definitely think it can be delayed by regulations and laws and banning and things like that. And because of that, I'm keeping silver on the side just in case the grid goes down or something like that, because you can't use your Bitcoin during that, but it'll still be here. But I am definitely going to be passing down all this stuff to my kids like you guys are, right? But Bitcoin is the way, ladies and gentlemen. It was built for this. Do you guys realize that they have printed more money in, now as far as like after the scamdemic and stuff, like as far as like bailing the banks out, they have given more money to the banks than they did in 2008. And it's just a blip on the radar in comparison to what it was before, because it was all over the news before. But now they barely even talk about it. Why? Because we don't talk in billions anymore. We talk in trillions, ladies and gentlemen, trillions. So what I do is I take those trillions of diluted energy, because that's what it is. It's just energy. And I put that diluted energy and I trade it for Bitcoin. This is how I like to compare Bitcoin to dollars or precious metals, right? Everything is energy. And I've said this before. If I'm a lion and I'm out in the jungle and I want to hunt for something, I have to put out energy to get that. I have to go hunt that energy. So if I go and hunt a gazelle and it takes me, a couple hours to hunt them down, and eventually it takes that little 10 or 15 seconds to, go and get them, I had to, put that energy out there to go get them, right? That's energy I have to do. But it's going to be far less energy than it is the actual gazelle. Gazelle's going to give me more energy back, and I'm going to be full for a week or something like that. That's what happens when we go to work for fiat. We go to work for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of hours, and it takes us to get that fiat, which is the middleman of what we want: food, clothing, shelter, and things like that. Well, what printing money is, right? And you print a bunch of dollars, that energy is you're doing the exact same thing as a lion. You're going to chase something down, but now the gazelle is getting smaller and smaller, and the distance between you getting that gazelle is getting farther and farther, and it's taking you a lot longer to do the exact same thing. It's taking a lot longer to hunt the gazelle down. It's taking a lot longer to actually find them, and then it's taking longer to go out there and reach out there and get them, and then eventually once you get him, he's smaller than what he was before. That's what they do with the fiat currency. And then compared to Bitcoin, precious metals are not finite compared to Bitcoin, because again, you can find silver and gold in different places. There is no more Bitcoin. It's only 21 million. So again, what we say in Bitcoin is this: don't trust, verify. Do not believe what I say. Go out here and do your own research. And I'm going to make a video based on what I've learned and stuff on the best Bitcoin resources out there. But what I suggest is, if you are a hardcore precious metal stacker, well, most of you are, use Bitcoin as an insurance against everything else, in just case silver and gold or whatever, but just have it as an insurance.
It's absolutely 100% certain that the fiat Ponzi will fail. It's just a matter of when. I like to think of Bitcoin as an insurance policy on the fiat Ponzi. And it's like owning fire insurance on your house. You don't ever want your house to burn down, but let's say you see on the other side of a valley a forest fire. Well, if the forest fire is approaching your house, you know that you're in trouble. You'd certainly want to own insurance. and you don't trade that insurance. You keep that insurance. And I like to think of Bitcoin as the same thing. It's insurance on the fiat Ponzi. It's extremely cheap, and yet lots of people are inclined to buy and sell it. And I'm like, you don't sell your fire insurance on your house, much like you don't sell Bitcoin as your insurance policy on the fiat Ponzi.
Do 1 to 5% of your portfolio, and I think that'll do it. But right now, Bitcoin is going to shine because it was made for moments like this, when the dollar's collapsing and things like that. And more people are getting on the technology. There's a lot of people that don't have a bank account in the world. There just are, and I'll make a video about that. But again, guys, get off zero, get you some Bitcoin, and get your starter kit and get you on the way closer and closer to economic freedom. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, it's all about freedom and sovereignty and doing what we can do to make sure everything is good in this country and being a sovereign individual. So, sorry, guys, I gave you my thoughts on Bitcoin. We watched a great video today, and let me know what you guys think. All right, please, guys, in the comment section below, do me a favor, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. Only if you like it. If you guys like my channel and my videos, go ahead and share it, guys. We're out here fighting, and we got to do what we got to do. All right, seriously. I love each and every one of you. You guys know that. God bless you and your family. Keep your head on a swivel. And remember, Bitcoin is the way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.